Hey, I'm Carlos Garcia, and today we're talking about the Bourbon on the Banks Festival in Frankfort, Kentucky. So a couple things also I'm going to be covering is my entire trip over the weekend. Also, let's do a giveaway. So if you're new here, because the other videos did so well, I'm just throw that out here. If you're new here and you would like to win some free samples on almost all my videos, I do giveaways, 2-ounce samples usually. So subscribe and check out my other videos. Today's giveaway is for the Maker's Mark Cellar Age this year's and last year's. Oh, left the sound on. So it should have been 2 ounces for the Maker's Mark Cellar Age 2025 and 2024. And congratulations, even clapping for you. Chance Downs Videos. Email me, you've been here since the beginning, congratulations. All right, since we're covering the entire weekend, I flew in on Friday into Nashville. That's a 3-hour drive up to Frankfort, but it was just the kind of the easiest way to get there. Anyways, me and my wife, we went there together. We stopped at Peg Leg Porker, Nashville Barrel Company. We got some barbecue. So this is that part of the trip. All right, 2 things I forgot to say. We went to the Nashville Parthenon, which is awesome. I think it's the coolest thing ever. So we checked that out. I showed my wife, I've seen it before. Also, for the haul part of the video, so I'm recording this Wednesday morning, right before you guys are seeing this. I actually just got home from work. I did most of the editing. I'm just doing this part now and then putting it all together. I bought a lot of bottles out down there, so I had them all shipped over here, and they're supposed to come here like tomorrow. So I'll probably do a separate haul video Friday, Monday. It'll be coming up soon. Either way, I definitely got at least 1 bottle of Peg Leg Porker. I got a couple for sure at Nashville Barrel Company. Nashville Barrel Company, if you're ever in Nashville, definitely check that place out. That place was awesome. Tons of different picks. You can barrel your own bottle, or you can bottle your own stuff right out of like the barrels. Really cool stuff. Definitely check out Nashville Barrel Company. So then we drove up the 3 hours up to the hotel. I came off of work, slept 2 hours on the plane, and I slept 2 hours on this ride that my wife drove, about 2 hours of it. So I was a little tired. And you're gonna see this is a theme in this over the weekend. But we get back to the hotel, you know, there's a time difference between Nashville and Frankfurt, so we're actually behind an hour. I told the people we're meeting up for a bottle share that we're gonna get there at 9. We didn't get there till 10, plus we had to check in and everything. So we didn't get to a bottle share around 10:30. They already were there for many hours, so they didn't stay that much longer. Also, the people at the bottle share were Tom Morrow from LF Heritage, which is thanks Tom, because you're the reason I went to Bourbon on the Banks. And Charles, the bourbon dude, he was there. It was cool. And so here's some of the pours I had the Friday night at the bottle share. So then after that, I go back to the room. It's around 12:30 or something like that. I get on SLB Discord and I see a couple of my friends on the voice chat, which I've never gone on before. And I was like, today's the perfect time. Let me go on the voice chat and see what this is all about. Drink some pours with them. Drink some Stag Junior and some Nashville Barrel Company stuff. And I was on there way too long. I don't think I got off there until like 4:30. I had to wake up early for a Bourbon on the Banks. And you'll see why this becomes a problem later on in the day. So then we wake up. We go, get ready, eat breakfast, go over to Bourbon Bank. So our ticket allowed us to get in at 1 o'clock. General admission got in at 2 o'clock. So we walked over there right at noon. We stayed at the hotel right across the street. Now this is already a pro for Bourbon Banks over the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. The lodging situation was 1,000 times better. We literally stayed at a hotel. I think we paid like $150 a night and we were in walking distance. We were literally across the street from the event. So that was awesome. As opposed to when I was at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, we stayed at Airbnb and we're like 25 minutes car ride away. And I know the lodging in that area for that event was nuts. Definitely easier, cheaper for Bourbon on the Banks. So we go to the line, it's 12 o'clock, we have an hour away. I'm like, yeah, let's just see kind of what it is. We're supposed to be the first ones in, so we'll see what happens. We get there, we're probably like 50th in line. Something they did with their line, which I call it the Chick-fil-A method, because everyone thinks Chick-fil-A is just so much faster than other people, but it's because they like make you do things at different times, so you think you're going faster. It's kind of thing what they did with this line. So they had us all wait outside of a gate, and then I think with like 20 minutes left or something like that, we got to go into the gate, get our bracelets. And then they put us at another gate. Like at some, maybe 10 of, it brought us to like right before the gates you actually go in. And then at 1 o'clock, they let us go in. So they kept moving us, which some parts were shady, some parts were in the sun. So that definitely helped some people, I'm sure, because some people are probably going to end up standing in the sun the whole time. So again, line management just to get in was pretty good. And I don't know how early people got there. Some people were saying that they got there really early. No reason to get in line early for Bourbon on the Banks. It was nothing like the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. And I'll talk a little bit more about that afterwards. This is some of the behind the scenes of Bourbon on the Banks. Hope you enjoy. as you can see at the end of there, I bought a lot of bottles and I was trying to carry them all in one box. It was about 25-ish bottles, 25 bottles, and not an awkward shaped box. It's pretty intoxicated and tired. So my wife went to get one of those things from the hotel to bring it back. So that was fun. At the actual event, you might have waited a couple minutes at a certain distillery because maybe they had a little line, but there's no lines really. You could easily just go to the next distillery right next door if there's no line there and just go back. Very simple, no waiting for anything. No big bottles. So when I first went in, I kind of had a plan. I was gonna go to Buffalo Trace, I was gonna go Old Forester, I was gonna go to Four Roses and Maker's Mark, the bigger distilleries, to kind of see if they were doing anything. And when I was getting in, I was like, man, if there's any kind of bottles, I'm gonna get them because I was one of the first ones in. And again, I only got there an hour early. It's definitely like the top 50 to get in. Go to Buffalo Trace. They had a tasting of like Eagle Rare and a couple other bottles. Nothing crazy. They had nothing crazy to sell. I don't think they had bottles to sell. I'm not 100% sure. Old Forester backed out, so I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe if anyone knows, you could put in the comments, but they were supposed to be there. They're all in the paperwork. They were not there. Four Roses didn't have anything special. Maker's Mark, they didn't have anything even to sell. They had like a BEP, which was like the only specialty-ish bottle they had. So like, I went through all four because they're in a line, really. Not all together, they're spread apart. And I just kept walking. I went straight to the very last distillery, which was LF Heritage, which was the reason I even got to go. Again, thank you, Tom. And so I started there and I worked my way all the way through the entire thing and made it all the way to the end, which was like where Dark Arts were. They were near the very end, if not one of the last ones. One thing I would say that was a negative was I wish they had another hour. So I don't know how general admission, that to me seems too short. Even the 1 to 6, the 5 hours, if I had an extra hour, I wouldn't have felt so rushed at the end. Now, pretty sure the point isn't to hit up every distillery while you're there, but I had a mission, okay? I basically went to every single distillery, unless I went to a distillery and I owned all the bottles they had there, then I probably skipped it. But I went to 90 to 95% of distilleries there, had at least one sample. You know, I did stop. We stopped midway through, had some lunch. Food trucks right in the middle, smart. And the whole layout was basically one long strip. So if you start out either ends and just worked your way through, it's, you know, all the distilleries were like a front of each other with plenty of space between them. So if there was lines, it wasn't, you know, all messed up. So the layout was pretty cool. There was a lot of shade because there's a lot of trees in that area. It's basically in a park. So there was no like big bottles that you needed to wait for. The big bottles that people are kind of like, if chasing is the correct word here, is the picks. The picks that they did. And so I know like people were going after a couple different hazmat ones, which I obviously picked them up. But you didn't even have to get there right away. One of the hazmat ones was from New Era, and that was one of the very last places I went to, and they still had bottles for sale. So it's not like they were selling out right away. So definitely a different situation than the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, where you just wasted a lot of time in lines and stuff like that. So this one was 100%. When I did that video about Kentucky Bourbon Fest, everyone kept saying how like, well, you could just stay in the craft area and you would have had a great time. This was that. This was the craft side of Kentucky Bourbon Festival, but just like in one day, you could hit it all one day. Definitely more that kind of speed. You know, a lot of distillers, head people were there with their products, so you could talk to different people. There was a couple different whiskey tubers around. SLB was there, did not run into them at all, which is crazy that we didn't run into each other. I was texting, trying to find where they were, and I was like, oh, I'll just run into them when I get them because they were on the other end. We didn't, so, but I ended up talking to them later on. I did talk to one guy when I was in line, and we were talking a little bit. He said he saw my video about Kentucky Bourbon Festival. I was like, oh, you went to both festivals? And I was like, yeah. I was like, can I just ask you like what your thoughts were on this festival versus that festival? And this is what he said.
So what's your name?
My name's Todd Trinkle. Live in southern Indiana, about 2 hours from here.
Okay, so you went to KBYF. You came here today. What's your perspective on the two different events?
So I would say, even though they're both bourbon-centric, they're amazingly different. The Kentucky Bourbon Festival, you had a much more intense crowd, more focused on the very special bottles, a big impetus on getting in early, rushing to the special places, standing in line, Heaven Hill.
Disappointment.
Some special experiences that maybe weren't so special for given what you paid for them.
Yeah.
This is a much more relaxed atmosphere, more focused on the craft distillers in this area. There are some of the larger distillers here, but they don't seem exceptionally focused on this event.
Right, you got Buffalo Traces here, they have Eagle Rare.
Correct. We're big Maker's Mark fans. They don't have any bottles for sale here at all.
They got BEP.
So nothing special. The bottles that they have here that are the River on the Banks specific barrel picks have been exceptional.
Yes,
I will say
I
that.
agree with that.
Have been very good. We've purchased the majority of those with the exception of a couple that we've tried before. So I would say if you're looking for an experience, they're completely different. If you're a first-time bourbon person and you're wanting just to drink a little bourbon and enjoy the atmosphere, this is a great time. If you're a little more experienced in bourbon and you're looking to get the special bottles, maybe have more of a distillery experience, 3-4 days, then the KBF's probably okay. So, yeah.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
anytime, man. I appreciate it. Good to meet you.
So, just another opinion, a lot of the same stuff that I'm thinking as my opinion as well on this event. So it's really on the person on what they're trying to do. I think both events have their place. I like this event probably a little bit more than the Kentucky Bourbon Festival because there wasn't as much disappointment. Oh, another thing, water. Man, I'm telling you, this event, they did like the little details. Fabulous. Now, do I wish that like Buffalo Trace had like even an Eagle Rare 12 or something? Yes, I would have loved to get some crazy bottles. That was not the case. But there was water stations everywhere. They had water bottles for free, like all over the place. They had Glen rinsing stations, so you could clean out your Glens, like little stuff. They had Porta Johns in different locations. The food was right in the middle. The whole with picnic tables and stuff like that. They just like the little details. I feel like this was just run a lot better. After the event, go to my room, drop off the stuff, get my bag ready for a bottle share with SLB, the Bourbon Dude, Tom, all these different people. Apparently, I disappointed myself. I crashed out on that bed. Apparently my wife said that she was trying to wake me up. I don't know how true that is. Between lack of sleep, being on my feet all day, a little bit in the sun, and a lot of alcohol, my body said, nope, you're done. So I woke up around like right before 11 o'clock, pissed out of my mind that I fell asleep and started messaging people. And I talked to Tom. He's like, yeah, we're all done. I was like, son of a gun. Because that was basically that bottle share hangout after the event was one of the things I was really, really looking forward to because that would have been a good networking thing. Now, I'm a small whiskey tuber, but to be able to talk to like bigger whiskey tubers and kind of just, networking, right? That's what networking is. And I kind of failed that. So I kind of failed you guys at the same time. So I was very upset about it. You don't even know, man. Like Trent called me out on Discord. They say he outdrank me, which I don't know if you would technically outdrink me. But yeah, I was very disappointed about that. So, went back to sleep, woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning because my sleep schedule out there was just trash. Man, I work nights. Getting on day shift is just a pain. So I woke up early. I messaged, Trent and Kent, Kurt. Kent was also there. And they came by the hotel because I had a couple bottles to donate. And while they were there, I asked them their opinions on the event. So this is me with Trent and Kurt from SLB. So here with SLB. So what did you guys think about your first Kentucky festival?
I'm pretty old, so I had
You're moving to the microphone.
I had a hard time keeping up, but it was a lot of fun.
What about you?
I'm not old. I thought it was a good time. Based on what I heard, you went to KBF. I watched the video. Based on what it sounded like with KBF versus Bourbon on the Banks, this was much better organized. No lines. No pushing and shoving. It was just a good time.
Yeah. It definitely reminded me of the KBF part where everyone's like, if you just stayed in the craft area, you would have had a good time. And that's basically what this event was like a huge just craft area. There were no like crazy bottles. But I really wanted to get your perspective because, you guys were there. So thank you, both of you.
Oh,
absolutely.
It was a good time, man. We met tons of people. tons of great people. I don't know how we missed you. I was
We
looking
didn't
for
run
you,
into each
man.
other at all yesterday. which
Carlos is
crazy.
like the best guy that ever walked the face of the planet, most generous dude I've ever met. So I apologize we missed you, but we went to meet some incredible people. Charles, that bourbon dude, super nice guy, took care of us in a lot of ways. We met so many nice people, so many great people. It was a wonderful time. Hopefully we'll be back next year.
You coming back next year?
I would. Yeah, you better not fall asleep.
Yeah,
on us.
man.
Call me out. Call me out. Oh, you know what? Here's the Elmer T. Lee.
Yeah, man.
Elmer T. Lee and Sty Jr. for Riley's.
This is what I'm talking about Carlos. One of the best dudes I've ever met.
Might as well throw that in the video.
Our Riley's Children's Hospital charity drive is on the go right now. This isn't everything that Carlos has given to us. He gave us a Pappy 20 as well for the raffle. Get involved with the raffle. Get involved with the charity. We couldn't even do the charity without a dude like Carlos and all the folks out there just like Carlos, man. Amazing people in this bourbon community. We got to meet a ton of them at the Bourbon on the Banks. Thanks to Tom Morrow, who's sitting right over here behind the camera at Limestone Farms, right?
Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Tom, for all your help with that.
Bottles over here myself.
Yeah, so anyways, Carlos, thanks, man. I'm sorry we didn't get to see you yesterday, but I'm glad we got to see you this morning.
Obviously, Kurt is amazing. I love Kurt. He's always been supportive of my channel, and I've always been supportive of SLB. I've been there basically from the beginning, and absolutely love those guys. So again, if you haven't got your Riley's tickets, in the description, every video for this month is always in the description, so make sure you get your tickets. And you can win a Pappy 20 and all kinds of crazy bottles. So this was Sunday morning. Me and my wife eat breakfast, and on Saturday, one of my Army buddies reached out to me and was like, "Hey, you're in Kentucky?" I was like, "Yeah." I forgot that he even lived in Kentucky because he was from Chicago when we were deployed. We were in the Army together. We also deployed to Afghanistan together. But he's like, "Oh, I'll come down." I was like, "Okay, well, I'm available tomorrow. Like, all I got is a wild turkey tour tasting type thing." He came down. We around 10 o'clock. Oh, that's what I was doing in the morning. In the morning, I was packing up all the bottles. That's what I was doing in the morning. We meet up at the hotel. We catch up a little bit. Then we're like, let's go to Buffalo Trace. They open up at 11. They were supposed to drop like a Weller, the green Weller or whatever. I'm like, let's go over there and check it out. We get there, huge line. And I'm like, why is there such a long line for green Weller? Well, we go in, we wait in line. I'm like, dude, I don't think we're gonna make this wild turkey thing, because the wild turkey thing was at 12:30, and it was like a 30-minute drive, and we were supposed to get there 15-ish minutes early. So it's around 11:45, and I'm like, dude, I think we got a bail on this line. We leave, we go wild turkey. Turns out Buffalo Trace was dropping E.H. Taylor barrel proof that morning. Yeah, it sold out pretty quickly, because what I ended up doing was we did the wild turkey tour, which was basically a Russell's Reserve tasting. It was like, I think, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. We got to try the Russell's Reserve 13 batch 6. They also gave us, or I don't think I'm allowed to say it, they gave us another pour. So definitely something. It was like $35 for military, $45 regular. So you get to definitely try a good bottle for sure. I was hoping to buy a Russell's 13. Not for sale. That kind of sucked, but whatever. After that, we went to Woodford Reserve. My buddy had to go back home. It's a Sunday. He brought us back to the hotel. We get in our car. Me and my wife go to Buffalo Trace to see, if we can get anything. They do the free tasting, so we got to try a couple different things. And then we picked up 2 different green Wellers. But the E.H. Taylor barrel proof was sold out by that point, so we did not get that. Then me and my wife went out to a bar. I had King of Kentucky, William Weller, and because I wanted to make it cheaper, so I had to do a flight, I just did like their Maker's Mark pick. William Weller to me was better than that King of Kentucky, and the pictures I'm sure you would have seen by now. And then we went out to dinner, which is a nice little restaurant. And then we woke up the next day, we left, and we stopped at Buc-ee's, which you guys in the South know all about it. My wife was in freaking Christmas land at Buc-ee's. So anyways, that was my trip to Kentucky. Overall, a great trip. I would go again. Not too much to complain about. Biggest thing I would say is I wish they had some kind of bigger bottles, but they limited it to like, I think 2,700 people. So it wasn't crazy overcrowded. They had, you know, different groups coming at different times. And they even sold like late day tickets. So you could just come in for the couple last hours. I wish we had like another hour or two. There was also like a big party on the streets, like on Friday night. Obviously we came in late, so we didn't go to that. They had a VIP thing on Friday night, which again, we didn't go to that. Saturday after the event, they had like a concert and thing that was free. Obviously I was sleeping, so didn't go to that. So there was a lot of different things. There was even a bar crawl type thing. So they had all kinds of different events going on. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention. At Kentucky Bourbon Festival, the only way to get a locker was if you had a VIP ticket, bracelet, whatever. So if you're general admission, there's no way for you to kind of like put your bottles anywhere. Bourbon on the Banks did something even better. It didn't matter what kind of person you are, VIP or general admission or whatever, they had the Shriners there that you could bring your bottles to, and they would like basically store it for you, and you could pick it up on the way out. But yeah, that was free. They have a tip thing there. It goes to the Shriners. Shriners do good things. Obviously, we tip them. You know, they stored all my bottles for a day. That was cool. That was another good thing on them. So again, the food and being in the middle, this event would just run so much better. But if you're chasing big bottles, this is probably not the event for you. But if you went to Kentucky Bourbon Festival and you did not go to this festival, just think the craft side of the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. That was basically this event. If you were walking around and you saw a guy in a red shirt that looked like me, that was me. And the shirt on the back said, "Shut up, liver, you'll be fine," and you took a picture of it, that was me. Because a lot of people took a picture or said, "That's a great shirt," and stuff like that. So that was this guy, if you saw that shirt. So hopefully that kind of helps out with people in the future, kind of answer any questions. If you have any, actual questions, always comment. I reply to every single comment all the time. I will say that YouTube is not showing me all the comments, but I've been forcing myself to just go down and read them all. I don't know what's going on with the YouTube thing about that, but just in case, if you see me not responding to your comment, it's YouTube. It's not me. I respond to every single comment. I think that's it. I don't want this video to be long. Remember, the haul video will be coming. It's either going to be the next video or the video after that. My next review is going to be on some American single malts that are fantastic. They're sitting right in front of me. Is what I was going to do, but I really want to get this video pushed out. So as soon as I finish this, I'm going to edit it and upload it immediately because this is already Wednesday morning. Don't do nothing stupid. And if you do, don't get caught. Bye.